we speak about it so much. Mental health, mental health, mental health, mental health. There has to be more of an outreach, actually going to each player and helping them out.
Do you guys not have the best resources from all regular people, regular human beings?
Most of the time when guys are battling with mental health, they're not just actively going to seek help. That's not always the easiest thing to do in that position.
How can we take the players' mental health seriously if said player's not taking their mental health seriously and doing what they got to do and taking advantage of resources?
One got the numbers, one let the game on. Two different voices, never the same. Mic on fire when the truth collides. It ain't just one story, must be two sides. Must be two sides.
I think that leads to a bigger conversation as far as paternity leave and like the mental health aspects of something like that, and just how, like I said, the NFL is speaking out of both sides of their mouth when it comes to the health and safety of players.
Yeah.
And, that leads to a topic that happened in the NBA with Paul George and his mental health concerns. And he got suspended for 25 games for taking a banned substance, which he claimed he was taking for his mental health issues. And for me, it's just, we speak about it so much. Mental health, mental health, mental health, mental health. But what are we actually doing about it? What are the things that are being put in place by the league that's actually going to each player and helping them out? Because guys battle with this more than you will ever know. Like, most of the time when guys are battling with mental health, they're not just actively going to seek help.
For sure.
It's something that you hide. It's something that you are unsure of. Like, I feel like there has to be more of an outreach by leagues and the guys, the people that are higher up running these things, to really reach out to players and check on them.
Three things to this. So yes, Paul George could have been taking care of his mental health, but before that, he could barely move. He could barely dunk. Then he went out there and did a 360 windmill dunk.
I'm not saying Paul George was this was, I say, telling the truth about
like 36 points.
I'm just speaking to the mental health aspect of it.
Okay.
And how it's kind of like,
did you see that warm up though about how he was in pregame before he got drug tested? My man was windmill 360 dunking. My man been barely able to play like the last 5 years, and you windmill 360 dunking, and they going for 30 something a game. Come on now, bro. They even tell us that's a mental health pill that you took or whatever. I'm not sitting here to go argue because I don't know.
That doesn't change the fact that he probably might have had some mental health issues.
Right. But to say that your performance got 10 times better because you accidentally took a mental health.
So what I'm saying is, before you ever even get to this point of, I need to take this and this, let's check on the man, because it's clearly something going on. Like, he had this many injuries and this and that. Like, let's help him out.
Okay, let me ask you this now. Do you guys not have the best resources, like in professional sports, from all regular people, regular human beings? Don't y'all have so many resources at your disposal?
You have great resources, but you have to actively seek them out. That's not always the easiest thing to do in that position.
But what you're talking about and taking players' mental health seriously, how can we take the players' mental health seriously when asking them questions, when approaching certain topics, if said player's not taking their mental health seriously and doing what they got to do and taking advantage of resources?
No, I understand that argument very well, but it's also something to be said for guys may not know what it is. They just feel something. They don't know what it is. They can't get out this funk.
Right.
So it's affecting me in a certain type of way. The people around, sometimes it's apparent.
Right.
When somebody is off. Like, he just ain't having.
Let me put things down in a journalist's perspective when it comes to mental health. Have you ever thought about being in a newsroom with 150 employees, and out of those 150 employees, only 8 are black people? And then you got to go on TV next to your white counterparts, and you got to talk about ICE. You got to talk about George Floyd. You got to talk about racism. You got to talk about politics. And 80% of your coworkers may be Republicans and feel this certain type of way, say these jokes behind the scenes, talk about said protesters like this. But you got to go up there and you got to go do your job. You got to basically be the activist for your newsroom. You got to be the black spokesperson every single time something comes up. So you got to hear these negative racist thoughts inside your newsroom when you had these meetings and stuff like that. And then your job is, hey, I want you to go in the field and I want you to go ask this white man how he feels about George Floyd. Or I want you to go ask this coach or this Republican how he feels about that. Like my lady Simone, when she worked in Mississippi, she had to go to a Ku Klux Klan rally. and speak to them about stuff like that. A Black woman going down there. So it's like when people talk about mental health and athletes, think about other people in the world that are going through mental health issues and how we got to compartmentalize that and still go do our jobs at the end of the day. My lady's going through something right now in Minnesota with ICE where a lot of our newsroom, I won't say a lot, but a majority of our newsroom supports what ICE is doing. And so when you hear conversations about, well, why, well, no, they should have did this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like every day you hear that. And as a Black woman, the only Black woman there working on TV, you can't just go to somebody like, you heard what they said? I can't believe they saying that. There's no outlet in your newsroom to go do that. And it's like that all over the world in journalism. It's not like that just.
So do y'all have anything in place as far as the mental health policy or anything like that?
We have resources that we can use, but what good are those resources when you got to keep going back in that same building around those same people? Like when George Floyd incident happened here, when I worked in St. Louis, every professional team pretty much came out and made a statement in support of Black Lives Matter, but the St. Louis Cardinals and the St. Louis Blues. So I wrote a 5,000 word commentary that went on our website. And when I tell you the backlash I received, people called our station like, we're boycotting Channel 5. I'm never going to watch this channel again. You should be fired. My news director at the time, she didn't admit what side she was on, but she was a hardcore Republican. People were calling the station, leaving voicemails, hatred voicemails, and she's calling me. I think you need to respond to these people. Excuse me, you're the boss of this newsroom. You answer those angry viewer calls. That's not my job to do that. Like, my job is to give you content, which I gave you content. Now you stand up for your reporter. Like, that's what you're supposed to be here for. So she was literally like, and then another person, right-wing guy, was like, I want a mod on my radio station. So one guy was like, Ahmad, will you join him? I'm like, why you want me to join a right-wing radio station? Like, knowing how I feel about George Floyd, y'all didn't ask me to do every Black story that pertains to athletes and George Floyd. Like, I'm basically been an activist here. We just started a DEI task force, all this stuff. I'm the leader of it. And I got to be the one speaking up on problems in our newsroom for the 8 other Black employees. When we got 142 other people not speaking up. Like, that stuff is mentally exhausting.
So so what do you do? How do you combat some of that stuff?
Bro, you go in there, like our parents always tell us, you kill them with a smile. Like, you can't let that stuff affect you. Like, and I know it's easier said than done. Like, we're not on as biggest platform as certain athletes, but it's like, I can feel like every day I go in my newsroom, some of my coworkers are watching Fox News. And it's like, how can you watch this garbage? But what do? Turn them down, turn the body down, turn the TV off, get ready for the show. Go out there when a red light come on, I lock in, I do what I got to do. Go back upstairs, I am who I am. If I got a problem throughout the day, I bid to Simone, I call my mom, I call my dad, I call you, somebody I'm close with. But you just compartmentalize that. So it's like we all go through mental health struggles. We all go through things like that, not just athletes, but people in the real world, people who can't even make ends meet, you know, like outside here. So it's like everybody goes through something. And I think that you guys have a ton of resources, a lot more resources than the regular people, than like journalists like myself. And so I think while you guys are telling us we should pay attention to mental health, also know while you telling us to pay attention to your mental health, we going through things too as a media member. Like, look at this field. Like, you look at the reporters out there nowadays, like, this is a white man's industry, like journalism, media, like the most prominent people in every market outside of like Memphis and Atlanta. The leaders of these newsrooms, white. The main anchors, white. The main meteorologists, white. So it's like this world is still catered towards white people, and we're still trying to find our niche. Like, and so I think that everybody goes through mental health issues. So I think it's just sometimes for players to say, well, you need to care about my mental health. Do you care about my mental health, where I'm coming from in my station and what I got to deal with, and them telling me I got to come ask you this question? Nah. So don't sit here and make me a bad person for not caring about your mental health too.
No, I definitely understand that, man. I do think it's a huge thing that everybody has something that they're going through. Everybody lives a different type of life, and those things would come with their own specific challenges. I feel like athletes, it may be, at least from my position, my perspective in the NFL, how some of that differs is because we're the ones that putting out the product.
Right.
As Black men, we're the ones putting out most of the product.
Agreed.
But at the same time, we have none of the power. So whereas you may get to speak and write your word, your 5,000 word paper and say how you feel, let us speak up. If we're not one of those top guys, it's going to be an issue. Or you probably not going to be there the next year. You're not going to have a job. And then you got outside things happening in your life, which everybody does. But that's even more of an influence. Now you coming in there and you got a dark cloud over you because of what's going on in outside. But then you come here, you can't even get solace from this either because, you know, the way that things are operated inside this building as well. So, you know, it's a lot of different factors that come with it. And everybody can only speak to their own perspective. So I get it. You going through it just like us.
Everybody going through it. I think, like people always say, everybody has something that they're going through behind a closed door that no one knows about. So I think when athletes sit here and tell us, well, you don't care about this, who do you care about this? Odds are we know y'all don't care about us. So it's like, all right, we doing what we got to do. We doing our job. So if you mad at the question, answer the question, move on. You get to go back to your luxurious lifestyle once you leave this locker room and go do whatever you want to do. We still got to go back to the newsroom, get this story out there and hear from other people. Like, you know what I'm saying?
See, but it's that perspective. It's that, oh, y'all going back to this luxurious lifestyle. Just because you live in a mansion don't mean you fulfilled in life. It's still something that you could be going through. Money don't make you happy all the time, bro. Like that's not the key to life.
I'm not saying money, but you can do a lot of things that make you happy with money.
Unless nothing make you happy because you depressed.
You got to figure that out. Like people in our positions don't make a lot of money, but they showing up to work happy every single day. We'll end it on this, but people behind the scenes at our job, producers, they're the lifeblood of our station, like directions. They make our stuff work. These people don't even get raises sometimes in most stations. Like with the way our journalism industry is changing now, they don't even get 2% raises. Like at the end of the year. So you got your TV talent. Some people make it $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, and you got a director making $55,000. And it's like, but they got to deal with the attitude of the anchor who mad because you didn't push a button at the right time and stuff like that. And then they got to go back home, not even able to eat at the end of the day because they wait on the next paycheck and stuff like that. So it's like, people grow through a lot of stuff. And so it's like, when I say that comment about y'all going back to y'all luxurious lifestyle, it's like, all right, you're going back to a lifestyle where like, I won't say you're not wanting for anything because you could be taking care of a lot of people and got a lot of stuff going on. But it's like, still as a professional athlete, you're in a lot better position than a lot of other people. And so there's other people who are really struggling, like, you know, like to make ends meet and they got to show up each and every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, and deal with way more stuff than athletes being asked hard questions.
Hey, that's not the only thing you gotta do. All right, go ahead.
From media members. That's the other thing y'all gotta do with plus. Media members. Y'all gotta deal with a lot of stuff. All right.
Thanks for watching that video. If you want more Must Be Two Sides content, be sure to click the links below and follow our journey.
Stand for the truth, otherwise take a knee. Made it to the league, now we gotta take the lead. Must be two sides.